Hi, my beautiful people. My name is Carla, and I am the owner of Empress Vibe LLC. You will see all my hashtags and all my videos and my social medias with hashtag Empress Vibe. And this video is going to be all about forgiveness and bitterness and why Yeshua was telling us to forgive no matter what people do to us, have done to us, or will do in the future. Um, Forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do at times because hate is very easy. It's very easy to give hate back to other people, or if somebody's mad at you, like it's very easy to give hate back. But when you catch a loving person, it is actually very triggering to our egos to be loving. And I want to talk about this because there has been some unforgiveness in my heart, and it had ties to some demonic energies. I've been studying Satan and demons for a hot minute. I actually used to be possessed, and I can show you what that actually looks like. So, this is my very first aura picture, and I'm gonna go really close to the chakras. You cannot see my heart space is supposed to be blue, and my throat, I mean green, and then my throat is supposed to be blue. You see that there's a big yellow thing coming out of there that's blocking it, right? That's energy. It is not positive energy, it's negative energy. And I also look at what I used to look like. That was in year 2020. I was going through it that year for sure. um, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my energy how I used to be when my energy was like this. I was very much vengeful. I was very much eye for an eye. I was very volatile. Uh, I would get heated quickly. Basically, I was easily manipulated. So if somebody can make you mad, so if you're having a good old time and then all of a sudden somebody pisses you off, you gave that person power to make you mad. You don't have the emotional intelligence, you don't have the emotional strength, the mental strength to remain in your power, in your energy. Our power is our energy. Um, I was in my healing journey. I was very much super, super egotistical. I felt like I knew more than other people. Um, and when you really look at it, like I wasn't in my mind at all. It was mostly in my body and very little in the spirit as well. Um, that was me then. Okay. 6 months later, after that, after meditation and prayer with Yeshua, we've known him as Jesus, but the letter J did not exist, right? So I'm going to call him by his real name, which was Yeshua. 6 months later, I'm going to zoom into my face so you guys can see the difference. If you could see them there. Okay, yeah, I definitely lost weight. But not only that, look at my chakra system. And then my crown turned a white color when right here it was like a grayish. Okay, but no more block. No more block. So here, the color red, which was what my aura was, it was red means physical, hardworking, grounded, practical, and intense. Very much so. And then now to when my 6 months later, my aura changed blue green. Those characteristics are caring, healer, helpful, supportive, and loving. Okay. I went from red to blue green. I need you guys to understand it took a lot of tears to cleanse my energy those 6 months. I cried almost every day, if not every day, to alchemize and clear that energy that was making me vengeful, that was making me spiteful. Fast forward to I went in, I knew I had gifts and I wanted some type of certification to show people that I do have the gifts that I do say that I have. Um, and I decided to get into Reiki. I did have my very first Reiki session in March 2022. So it was basically this same year. This was the same year, but this was earlier. It was an earlier one, and they look exactly the same. Like nothing changed. So this was like 2 months. I think this was September. The other one's um, November. And you can see it looks exactly the same. My root chakra was green. You know, I actually gained weight from there to there because I went through something depressing. But I want to show you guys what your aura looks like when you get healed by a person that is very much possessed by demons. Okay. I went to go get healing done by my teacher, the one that taught me Reiki. My intuition was whispering about him and his wife and what they had going on. But I thought it was my ego because I was still trying to learn the difference between my ego and my intuition. And you got to understand your intuition whispers. Your intuition, sometimes you cannot hear it if you're doing too much and if you're not sitting down and slowing down. So this was the weekend after my teacher Reiki'd me. And this is how protected I am because none of this affected me. My health was really good. But you can see, this is where I'm going to zoom into the diamond. The heart chakra, which is green, right? And as you can see, I'm going to show you the difference of my solar plexus. This is a yellow one. So look at my solar plexus here, okay? Very much solid, very much looking like a jewel, right? So right here looks a little ovalish. He did something to it. And now I do know that he did do something to it. That's where our courage is. That's where our joy is. After he Reiki'd me, I was going through something with my family, and he knew that. And he said, "You're missing joy in your life." And that kind of made me feel some type of way because I'm like, I'm a very joyful person. I don't let my family take my joy. Like, I will keep it fucking moving. Like, I always keep it moving. When I go through something, I will keep it moving, right? And the guy that read it, he's like, "You have a diamond heart." He's like, "You have a diamond heart. You need to look that up, and you need to look up Mary Magdalene and her Gnostic text." And I did. And then I realized who Mary Magdalene was. She was a demon slayer. She had a diamond heart because it slayed demons. It sent the demons back to the light, back to God. And as you can see, he also told me that I had some stomach issues. What's supposed to be orange, it looks grayish yellow, right below the yellow one, the bright yellow one. That's our sacral chakra. It's supposed to be orange, and it looks like a grayish yellow color. And then the one below that, it's supposed to be red. It's our root chakra. And as you can see, both of them were really big, but he took out energy in there. He chipped off energy here. And then the guy told me I had static and that I needed to pray more. And I was really confused because I'm like, I've never prayed as much as I do now compared to the other times. And I've never been told that. So I was really confused. And you know what they say about confusion? It is a work of Satan. It is a work of demons. And that's what it was very much, right? So I went ham on healing myself and figuring out what the heck was going on. That was year 2021. What month? Let me see. Hold on. It says it at the bottom. This was, oh no, it's year 2022. My bad. This was May 27th, 2022. And shortly after, I ended up cutting them off because I had a vision. I was meditating and God showed me them again and told me some things about them. Before I removed them, though, I did get a reading just to get confirmation because I just didn't want to move in my ego. I really, really, really wanted to move in my heart. So I got a reading from a girl in Sedona, and I just briefly let her know, like, there's these people I'm questionable about, and I just need to know if it's my intuition that's telling me to separate, or if it's my ego that I feel triggered by them. I was like, so can you figure that out for me? She did, and she told me they were wearing masks. And she also told me, you're 10 of cups energy. Like, you're very joyful. And of course, that's going to be a target for energy vampires. And I said, cool. And she's like, but you are going to have courage. And back then, because my solar plexus is so lit, I'm like, courage, like, what the fuck? Like, I was confused. I wasn't scared like other people in the class were. I was genuinely confused if it was my intuition or my ego. So I went ahead and removed myself. I removed myself from the chats, and immediately he sends me a voice note. And he's like, did we do anything? Are you all right? Like, what's going on? And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to fucking tell him. So I told him that, yeah, I was like, you guys are doing something shady. And when I find out what it is, I'm going to air you guys out. I don't know what it is that you guys are doing. You guys may pretend like you guys are all love and light and peace, and you guys don't cuss and portray to be something that you're fucking not. But I'm gonna expose you guys when I find out. And he sent me something back, and then I sent him something. Oh, because I guess he wanted examples, and I told them, like, also, by the way, because I remember one time in the chat, it was one of the last times I posted anything in there. He said, he was talking to the rest of the class. He's like, see, you don't have to be special to do this. And I'm like, we're all God's children. We are all special. Like, speak for yourself. If you don't fucking special. If you don't think you're special, cool. But I know I'm special. I am God's daughter, and I know that I'm amazing, and so is everybody else. And they just gotta find their amazingness. So I let him know that. I also recorded that as well. I screen recorded that. So if I have to, I will share that as well, that recording of what he said, because he said it with his voice as well. So I have a lot of receipts. Well, anyways, fast forward to what is that, September 3rd, 2022. So the same year, my shit was all tore up from the floor up. Like, I'm talking about, it looked worse than what it used to, at least the bottom ones. And they were really big. Like, if you look at how small my root chakra was there, but it was red, right? Look at how it was, and look at how big it got. They were trying to stop God's blessings, not knowing that they were doing God's work, because I still had a lot of lessons to learn. I needed to face fears. I needed to learn Satan and demons. I needed to learn all that. And I did. I did. Even though when I got this one taken, so this was, what was it, a few months later, look at my crown chakra. It's a violet color. But then there's red at the top, which the guy mentioned. And you can see in my right foot, there's also red. Those are the only two areas that are red. Those were the areas he was attacking, because he was no longer able to mess with my insides anymore. So the only thing he could do was put a Anubis dog looking thing on my right foot to try to stop me from moving forward, to bring confusion, doubt, whether I should post this, should I even go live today, should I say this, or maybe I shouldn't say this. Like, I was very much going back and forth from what God was teaching me and from what I was thinking and feeling. Okay. So as you can see here, look at my root chakra, back red. It's not solid. It was not solid then. And then look at my solar plexus. I was really working on it, but he did a number on it. It no longer looked like a jewel. That's the center of our personal power. I got my jewel back. That's for damn sure. I got my jewel back. That's for damn sure. And I thank God every day for that. So fast forward, that was 2022, right? Cut them off, did all that. And then when that happened in September 22, I wanted to also talk to a psychic. But before they actually read my aura, he told me, he's like, you have a rare aura. It's golden. Like, very few people have that golden aura. It's like, it's pure light, he said. But you have, and then he also told me there was a feminine energy. And I gave him a couple names, and he said, no, that's not them or whatever. So to this day, I don't know who that feminine energy is, and I truly don't give a fuck at this point, if I'm being honest, because I mind my business. I know when God wants me to know who that feminine energy is, God will let me know. Um, so he helped me clear him, and he told me, he's like, oh, he has a lot of power. He has a lot of dark power. And I started crying because I'm just like, I knew it. Like my leg would go numb, and I couldn't explain it why, and yada yada yada. So I was like, all right, whatever. I did a voice note around that time. I did actually a podcast episode. And then one day after my shower, God said, I need you to listen to that podcast again because there's a part that you're going to snip out and you're going to post it. And I'm going to give you further details. So I was like, all right. Found the part, snipped it. And then God said, you're going to unblock them because I did have them blocked. They told me, this older spiritual people told me I needed to block these people. But that's rooted in fear. When you block somebody, you're scared. You're scared to get triggered. You're scared that they're going to do something to your videos and your pictures, whatever. You're scared. When you block somebody, you are scared, you know? And so God's like, you need to unblock them and I need you to tag them, both him and his wife. And I was like, biting my nails, and I was like, what if that's not God? What if it's him still trying to control me and like trying to get me to do weird shit, you know? So I'm asking God for signs. I'm like, okay, give me some signs or whatever. I got my sign. I mustered up the courage because I did feel scared to do this. So posted that video, and I still have it on my social media. The audio, I actually have it pinned, and I'll tell you guys more about the pinned video right now. So um and I right now I'm feeling tingles on my right foot, like on the top of it, just slight tingles, like when I'm self healing. And I know because he's very intuitive. I know he knows I'm talking about him. And I know he knows that I was gonna do this as well. Because he stalks my shit every day. He unblocks me and blocks me every day. And you know that's something that I've gotten used to. Like I literally cause obsession in both feminine and masculine people. Like that's just what my energy does. At first, I was really annoyed with it, and then God said, "I have a big purpose for you. I need you. I need you to magnetize people. I need you to be polarizing to people because I'm working through you. And those that have eyes to see will see, and those that have ears to hear will hear, and the rest that are possessed, they will be acting a fool." So, anyways, the guy tells me he got rid of him. I know because of me getting a cleansing earlier in July that whatever was attacking me is very, very strong. Because the first lady that cleansed me in July, she went crazy. And she ended up just leaving one day where she was working at and never came back. And I went 6 months later. This is how I found out. I went 6 months later because I wanted to check in on her just to see if she was okay. Because I disobeyed God. On the third day of her healing me and my children, God told me, you need to tell her she didn't cleanse you guys right, that she needs to get cleansed properly. And that lady was in her 60s. And I'm just like, she's been doing Reiki for 20 plus years. Like, how am I going to sit there and put doubt and fear into her? I was like, I don't want to do that, God. Like, I'm not going to do that. And I didn't. And then when I went back 6 months later, just to follow my curiosity, come to find out, like a month and a half later, she went crazy and just dipped out one day. And I was like, I felt guilty. I felt really bad. And I started praying for her. I started crying. And then I started sending her lots of love for like a few weeks. Like every time I would think about her, I would send her love and I just pray for her and like ask God that to show her and guide her how to cleanse herself properly from energies that she picked up from me and my children that involved death magic, sorcery, and other weird ass shit that I don't really care to give too much detail of, but just know that it's very strong, dark forces. And this is where God showed me God's power, like how powerful it is to be connected to God, you know? And so after all that happened, I was working hard on, trying to forgive. And I'm going to be honest, when it came to my teacher, I I did until I felt like I was not thinking about him anymore and I didn't care. Like He was in the back of my mind, I guess. And so I kept it moving, you know? And it wasn't until, what was it, 3 weeks ago, I was doing, well, actually, it's been over 40 days that I've been like really about my stuff. Where I mean, I'm not just not meditating every day, I am praying in the morning, I'm praying throughout the day, and I'm praying at night. And I have certain healings that I do every single day, and I've been doing it for over 40 days. And so, which is what helped me heal in 2022, but I stopped after a certain time. It wasn't 40 days, it was before that. I stopped and I was supposed to continue it. Right now, I'm still continuing it because me feeling the little sensations of my foot, that just means there is some residue there still. And that's fine because I did have to ask God to help me forgive him. Because let me rewind to 3 weeks ago, okay? I'm guided to do this 90-minute yin yoga practice. I'm doing it. God's telling me a bunch of things about people that are around me, about my family, about friends, like just telling me a bunch of stuff. Then God tells me, Javante has you blocked, but unblocks you every day to see how you're doing and if what he has been doing is working still. And then God said, I need you to leave him another review. And I said, no, you need to give me proof of what I just heard right now. And I'll immediately leave him reviews. Like I will leave him reviews, God, like for real. And the next day, which is good. It's good to forget whatever you ask God. It's good to forget about it and not like be thinking about it. And I really forgot about it. I'll be honest with you. I forgot about it. I never really scroll much on Instagram, if I'm being honest. Like I can't do it for long. So I was scrolling that day and I was sending stuff to my business page. I was sending stuff to my best friend and then to my niece. I was like sending stuff. When all of the sudden I saw his picture. And it was funny because every time I would try to send a video, like the Zendo Reiki and the Reiki class stuff would pop up. And I'm like, I haven't talked to them in 3 years. Why is that at the top of my send list? That is how you could tell people are stalking the fuck out of you. That's actually one of the ways, because there's other ways, but that's one of the ways you could tell somebody's stalking the fuck out of you, and they're visiting your shit every day. And I was like, and I always noticed that, but I never really paid it any mind because I was just like, maybe I'm tripping. My psoriasis was coming in and out randomly. And during that time, it was coming out like full force in the back of my right side of my neck. And I was like, I would think about him because I'm like, it's tied. I feel like it's tied to him. But you know what? Where your focus goes, it grows. So I stopped focusing on that. I was ignoring that until God's like, okay, this girl doesn't, I need to tell her, what the hell's going on. So God told me, and I'm like, all right, got the proof. I have screenshots. I pinned this to both Empress Vibe Healing and Empress Vibe Official on Instagram, right? And their company name is Universe, like universe, and then Soul Healing. And they're in downtown Mesa on Center Road or Center Street. So once I had that proof, once God showed me that, I went and I left them reviews again. I left them a Google review and then I left them a Yelp review, which I had never done before. So I did that. And I said the truth. And I said, don't come to these people if you are anointed. If you are connected to God, do not come to these people unless you're meant to step into your power, meaning you're meant to lose all fear over darkness, meaning you are learning how to alchemize not only your darkness, but other people's darkness, where you can remain being light, remain being loving, joyful, peaceful, like just full of life. I'm going to be, what year is this? I'm going to be, not me not knowing my age, because I don't feel my age. I'm about to be 35. And I feel younger than I did in my 20s, in my mid 20s. I have two children, I have a 14-year-old and I have a soon to be 9-year-old. And I don't even know why I went into my age for whatever reason. But anyways, God God, I ask for your assistance. I'm kind of getting scattery. I was like, thank you, Holy Spirit. I said a little prayer because I started noticing I started getting a little scattery. So I did the reviews. And then I started getting angry. Because it's like, bitch, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years and you're still on my nuts. Like, what in the fuck? Like, what have you been doing? Now, mind you, I've been going these past 3 years. There's a lot of things that have happened to me where I should have lost all faith and I should have went back to be an atheist. And one thing that I did do last year, and I'm gonna be completely honest, actually, God wants me to speak about this. Last year in April, and I'm getting emotional just even thinking about it that I'm gonna speak on it. This is how you know it's fucking real. Last year in April, I felt heavy, and I mean heavy spiritual warfare against me. Like, and I knew who it was. I knew it was him, and I knew it was my aunt, and then also other people. And not just my aunt, like people surrounding her, like people she like her family. Not my family, her family. And it got to the point where it was leaking to I went to 3 different autozones. This is why I hate autozones now. And I need to like heal my fucking trauma with them as well. But I remember that day I went to 3 autozones and they all treated me like trash. And I had never I'm a pretty woman. And whenever I go to like men's spaces, I get treated right. I get treated real good. And that day was not the day. That day I got treated really bad at 3 different ones and it broke me. I was like crying and I'm like, what is going on? I felt so good today. And I just feel like people were just assholes to me. Like, what the fuck? So I'm like crying in my car, asking God, what the hell's going on? And the only thing I could hear was spiritual warfare. And I was like, I can feel it. I know I'm trying to ignore it. I'm trying not to focus on it. I don't want it to grow, you know? And so then I go, I go home and pick up my kids. And then I was like, let's go eat. Because I'm like, I've had a rough day. Like, let's go eat one of our favorite places. So I'm driving over there and somebody calls. My intuition tells me not to answer, but I still answer anyways. I answer. I don't remember what that person said, but it pissed me off. And I freaking went like this. And all my bracelets busted in the car. And then I flipped around in the car and I went back home and I was just pissed. I got really mad at God at that point. Like I was angry at God. I threw away all the tarot cards. I threw away all the Reiki stuff, like all the stones. Anything spiritual, anything that I was connecting to God. I threw it. I put it in a fucking bag and I threw it away. Not so long, like 2 days or 3 days before that, my son kept telling me, I hate Reiki. Like, I don't like that stuff. I hate that you're always talking about energy. Like, that's annoying. He was talking us crap. And so then I'm doing all this. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, guess what? I hate this stuff too now. Like, I don't like this stuff either. Like, I'm done. I'm done doing all of this. I'm not doing any of this anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm going to go back to how I used to be, to what I used to be into. Like, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back. And so it was a very traumatic day for me and my children for sure. Because they were like, what the hell? Why is my mom being crazy right now? Like, why is she acting like that? You know? I went into my room, I locked the door, turned off all the lights, I laid down, and then I said, come and get me, demons. Come and get me, bitches. This is what y'all wanted. Come and get me. I'm yours. Like, come take me. And I kid you not. I don't know for sure if it really was demons that were coming towards me, but it felt like some of my angelic healing meditations I would do. I felt the vibrations, like subtle vibrations all over my body. And I'm talking about all over. And I'm just like laying there and I'm crying. And then I told God, I was like, God, I want to leave tonight. In my sleep, I'm done. Like, earth is too hard. And it's hard being the light out here with all these fucking possessed people. Like, I can't do this anymore. find somebody else to do it. And this was last year in April. And I said, get somebody else to do it. Like, I am fucking done. Like, I am not doing this anymore. And I kept telling God, like, I want to go on my sleep. I want to go on my sleep tonight. I want to go on my sleep. Finally, after I want to say like 15 minutes of me like laying there crying and telling God that I'm trying to leave in my sleep, I'm hungry. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get food. And so I told the kids that I'll be back, that I'm gonna go by myself. I go and I'm driving. And I'm in crazy mode at this point. Like just even like looking back, I definitely was very much what I could what I could say is possessed, I guess. And it was all because of the spiritual warfare. And so I'm driving, I'm like, if you want my soul, devil, like if you want my soul, Satan, like it's a perfect opportunity to fucking crash into me, get somebody to crash me or do something. Like if I die, I'm going with you. Like whatever the fuck. I was just being crazy. I get to the spot, greeted like I've never been greeted before, like so nice. And then my head is like, oh, now you motherfuckers want to be nice to me. Now you guys want to be nice to me. Like that was like in my head. She even gave me a discount. Then I go to the other area and the guys are super nice to me. And I'm just like, all fucking day, everybody was being assholes to me, but now everybody wants to be nice all of a sudden. And I'm like, now that I'm gonna fucking leave tonight, like you guys want to be nice to me. And then grab the food or whatever. I'm obviously being nice back to them because I'm not a fucking piece of shit person. And so as I'm leaving, I saw that my best friend called me, and my phone's always on do not disturb. And so I go and put gas, and I call her back. She's crying. She's venting to me about something. And then when she's done, she's like, what do you think? Like, what should I do? And I said, stay. It's going to be miserable wherever you're at. It's going to be shitty wherever you're at. I was like, so just stay wherever it's miserable, where you're comfortable. I said, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Because I've never talked to her like that. Like she was first my client and then became my best friend. And so I told her that, and she was just like, no, like, no. And I kept telling her, I was like, I'm done. She's like, no, you can't be. Like, she's, trying to change my mind. And I told her straight up, like, tonight, when I go to sleep, my soul is going somewhere. I'm done. I told God I'm done. And then you could tell that she was really concerned, like at that moment, she like whatever it is that she was going through, like it's like at that point she was just worried about me because like what the hell's going on with her? Like she was the one that would come to help heal me, and like now like she wants to leave. So anyways, I get home, I feel really not good inside. So I tell my kids, like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm gonna hurt you guys if you guys talk to me. Like, don't talk to me, please. Like, ignore me. And my daughter kept saying stuff. And then one thing she's like, I just want to know if you love us. Like, do you love us? And I'm like, stop talking to me. Like, please just stop talking to me. And at this point, I'm a single mom, like, of two kids. Both of their dads were not around at all last year before in April at all. And she just kept asking after I had told her several times to stop. And then I yelled and I said, no, I don't even love myself. Like, I fucking hate it here. I don't want to be here on earth. Like, I literally like said that shit in front of her and my son. Both of them started crying. I stopped eating. And I said, I told y'all not to talk to me. And so I went to my room and I went to sleep. And before going to sleep, I went to sleep crying, and I told God, I was like, I told you I'm trying to go. Like, I don't want to be here no more. Let me die so then their fucking dads have to take care of them. Because I've had enough. I've had enough of this fucking life of doing my fucking best to move in my heart, doing my best not to do people how they do me, doing my best not to be vengeful, like doing my best to be like Jesus, like doing my fucking best. I'm gonna tell you something. Jesus is the most amazing ass human being that ever walked on earth. And that's why he is king. And that's why he is who we should all want to be like. I've been watching The Chosen too. I'm about to finish it. And I'm just watching, and I'm just like, I could never do that. Like I would not kill myself for these people. Like, I was like, hell no. I was like, God, you love us so much because that's crazy. I was like, I would never. Anyways, so I went to bed, and that happened, right? I woke up around 2, I think it was like 2:46 a.m. And the reason why I woke up is because I literally was reaching for something. I was laying down, right? And I like reached for something. I said, I'm not done yet. And I pulled it back, pulled it back. And then I looked at the time, and I think I remember I added the numbers together for some reason, and I think it totaled up. I don't if that time doesn't add up to 6. It's whatever the time adds up to 6. It was like 2:40 something, and the numbers I remember added up to 6. And then I laid there, and I'm just like, holy shit! I was really about to go. Like, I was really about to go. Like, my soul was really about to go, and I was just like, oh my god, like, I really was about to leave my kids. Like, what the hell? And it's like I no longer was feeling, I guess, how I was feeling before then. And then I was like, I went to the river the next day, and I asked my son to come with us, and he didn't want to get wet. And so it was just me and my daughter that went to the river, and it was like kind of like a cleansing. Ooh, I just feel tingles now on my left hand, on my left foot. I just went to the river, we went to go get cleansed, and then I apologized to her, and then I told her how I was feeling, not not in like in depth or extent, but I want my children to see me cry. Like, my kids have seen me at my lowest. I've never hidden from them, because I need them to see that life is not fucking rainbows and roses, and that we have to keep it moving. We have to remain joyful, but we do have to sit down and feel our feelings. Like, I teach my children that, because it's important to be logical and smart and intellectual, but also you need to have emotional intelligence. You need to know what your emotions are and what they're trying to tell you. So yeah, after that I was feeling better. And then I was having a conversation with God, and I said, I want you to show me. I want you to show me what you're doing to bring justice to what's being done to me, when I don't deserve this, God. You know that. I don't fucking deserve it. And a few months later, found out that on my aunt's side of the family, her son is still in prison. And to this day, from what I know, he's still in prison. He's locked up. He has a wife that I know is involved in whatever she was doing with my grandma, with my aunt. And I remember one time, um, I rarely get on Snapchat, but I got on Snapchat and I saw one of my cousins' her stories, and then I took a screenshot because I'm like, is that my cousin? Like, I had no idea he was locked up, first and foremost, but I had been dreaming about him. Like, in my dreams, he would ask me how my kids were doing. And I thought that was really weird. And also, he wouldn't enter the. I'm like, come inside. I would tell him to come inside my house. He's like, no, I'm good. He would always be outside the door. He's like, I just want to know how your kids were doing. And I was like, all right. Anyways, so they came for me. They came for my children. And so I remember I took a screenshot and I immediately sent it to a family member of mine. And I said, is this our cousin? And that person's like, yeah. And then kind of divulged some information about them, about the wife, more specifically, her having like to work 2 jobs and being a single mom now that he's in prison. And as I'm hearing this, God tells me that's how they wanted to see you. And I was like, what? What? I was like, yeah, no, I got a job a few months ago and I lasted there 60 days because once you are tapped into the spiritual realm and the earth realm, you cannot be working for companies that have no compassion and have no empathy and that they want to treat people like they're fucking toes. Like, hell no. And that company's name is Synergy. Horrible, horrible. And it's the one on, now it's in Chandler. But if you have any autistic family, friends, or older people, do not ever take them there. They have fucking caregivers that are horrible there that have been there for 15 plus years. The VP and the CEO guy, they're the fucking worst. They lack empathy and compassion, and they don't give a fuck about people. They just give a fuck about money. That's why their shit was not growing. Hopefully now they got it. But yeah, I left there because I was like, hell no. And the pay was good. I'm talking about good, but it was not worth. It was not worth going to work for some people that lack that shit. I have values. I have morals. And I love and I care about people and I want to be with people that do the same thing, that want to see people be good. Anyways, then I found out somebody over there got in a car accident. And then I was having some car problems around that time too. And I was like, okay. And it was just interesting how I said, oh, you can get me now. I'm in the car. Go ahead, crash me. Like just that also like played in my mind. I was just like, what the heck? I was like, okay, you guys didn't understand. God's justice feels like witchcraft to the people doing witchcraft. They will be thinking you are doing shit to them when all you're doing is healing, when all you're doing is worried about yourself, right? Yeah, so that was my focus. And yeah, I left it at that. Fast forward to now, right? When God showed me that, I started getting angry. And I was talking to Jesus and I said, Jesus, I hate Javante. I hate him so much because one, I barely knew the motherfucker, and for him to come for me like that, and whatever fucking posse he has in the spiritual community, because I seen those motherfuckers hawking too, and I was like, I fucking hate them. Like, I was like, can you help me forgive him? Because right now I feel like I can't, and I also, can you help me see him like you see him? Because I don't see him how you see him. I can't. I need your help. Immediately the waterworks started coming. I started crying. And I was like, damn, okay, here it goes. Like, here comes my true forgiveness when it comes to, this warlock in the spiritual community pretending to heal people when he's really doing harm to them. And I don't even think he's doing harm to everyone, if I'm being honest. I think it's just those that he sees have that connection with angels. Those people that have a bright light and they don't know it yet. Because he's able to see it. Sometimes when you're in these spiritual communities, they'll tell you, oh my God, you're so powerful. Oh my God, you're so protected. And it's like, first of all, how the fuck did you know that? I can't see that. I couldn't see that within myself. How can you see it? So I say all of this to say, guys, when you have any unforgiveness within you, you are leaving a door open to get possessed in some way, shape, or form. It's probably not going to be in the form that happened to me, because not everybody's being thrown death magic and weird ass shit in their children. But if you're constantly hating on people, if you're constantly comparing yourself to people, if you're constantly gossiping about people, if you're constantly worried about other people, and if you get happy, like when something bad happens to somebody that I guess did you wrong, that's a clear indicator that you need to ask God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, help you forgive. Because that's why you lack inner peace. That's why you lack inner joy. Now, for me, I didn't lack those things. I just felt I had to really fight to be in that energy. And now I don't have to fight it to be in that energy. Thank God, because I've been really consistent and disciplined, you know. But I want to tell you guys, like, mind your business. If you see somebody post something and it makes you mad, that means you got triggered. And that means you need to sit with yourself in meditation and be like, God or whoever you meditate with or who you believe in, I don't care at this point. Sit in meditation and be like, why did that bother me so much? Put a little timer at 15 minutes. Just observe your breath and just observe how your body feels. If anything comes to mind, just observe it. And I'm telling you, you're going to get your answer. You're going to see what wound is triggering you, because the thing is, you don't want to be manipulated out in these fucking streets. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse, but it's also going to get more pretty. It's also going to get more beautiful. It's also going to get more joyful. But the thing is, you need to learn how to balance your energies. You need to learn when it is time for you to turn the other cheek, and when there's times like when it's life and death. Do you want to be killed? Is it it's the question is to kill or be killed, to love or be loved. My thing is if I feel I'm in danger, my life is in danger somewhere, I'm gonna fight for my life, because I want to be here. Even though in April of last year I didn't want to be here, but so many blessings came from that. Guess what? I went feral, and I told my sons, Dad, it's your turn. You're gonna come take care of him. you know and then I also lost all like attachment. Like, I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I don't even give a fuck if he does come around him anymore. And so I exposed some stuff which I thought was going to end in drama and craziness, and it didn't. It actually went the opposite, and that really left me a little confused, if I'm being honest. To this day I think about that, like, what the hell. But anyways, my son's been with him since what was it, August, when they started school, the end of July actually. End of July, my son's being at his dad's, living with him. He comes sometimes every, for sure, 2 times a month is when I see my son, right? But my son seems more whole. My son is doing a lot better in school. Like, everything is just doing really, really well when it comes to my son. Also, my daughter, she's doing amazing at school too. We're still trying to deal with her dad and his possession that he has, because at the end of the day, I need people to understand this. I want single moms to understand this. You bashing and hating your baby dad, like talking shit about them to your friends, to your family on social media, you're sending him negative energy, and you're making it harder for him to be a good dad. You have to pray for them, or you have to ask God to help you forgive them. That way they got to go through what they got to go through, so they can be there for your child or your guys' children. And if you're a man that's not there for your children, I want you to know you're possessed. And that demon you have wants to make sure your child is hurt, just like you probably were hurt by your dad and his demons. You probably bashed him and hated him. And let me tell you something, you become what you hate. So it's a great thing that people hate on me, because guess what? You opened up a door to go through similar shit that I went through, to become like me, to be joyful like me, to be confident like me, to become loving like me, to become passionate like me, to become strong like me. And all of this is like God, because we are made in God's image. And we get attacked because we are God's heart. So I'm going to close this out. It's almost going to be 50 minutes. If there's anybody that you fucking hate and you're angry at and you cannot fucking stand, I want to recommend that after this video, you put a little 5-minute timer on your phone. You ask God to help you forgive. And you put your hands here. And just breathe in all the way through your throat into your heart space, and then exhale and relax your shoulders for 5 minutes. Don't fight any tears that want to come out, because sensitivity is a superpower. Being able to feel when people are attacking you. Can you imagine being able to feel spiritual warfare and still be unbothered? That's what I learned this year. That's what I just learned recently, to rejoice no matter what. No matter what, you know? So I love you guys all. I love you, Javante, because I know you're going to watch this. And I pray you heal, because you're very powerful. If your darkness is that powerful, imagine how powerful your light can be, you know? And you were an amazing teacher. You taught me a lot of positive things and then a lot of negative things. And the negative things really taught me my power, my authority. You don't have any power over me. You never have, you never did. You know that. Now, I will continue to follow God's advice. I still have more receipts. So if I still feel like you're attempting to do anything weird with me or my family, more things will be exposed. I will upload that voice note that you said that I wasn't special, that you implied that I wasn't special. I'll post that. Um, I don't care to look crazy. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care. So I love you guys, and I really pray that God touch every single one of you guys that watch this video, and then I pray that God helps you open your heart and heal it. Not only that, help you put your soul together, healed and cleansed. Help you bring your spirit together, healed and cleansed. I was praying that for over 30 days, and I've never felt like myself. In year 2022, I was trying to stop cussing and all this other stuff, and it's like, that's not authentic. I needed to be authentic, and this is me. This is rawfully me, open for judgment. And the only people that are gonna criticize and judge me are people that I possess. That's it. Simple as that. The rest, they're gonna feel inspired to find their own light and to shine fucking bright, just like we're meant to. I love you guys. Bye bye. How do I stop this? I don't even know how to stop this.